Mulibwanji. Welcome back to the BeOfficial podcast. I'm your host, your guy, Toping837, and I'm joined with my co-host, Director D's in the house. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again for the uncut conversations, the conversations that you guys love. Sorry for keeping you waiting, my apologies. We left you guys unattended to for 2 or 3 weeks, Bear with us, Zesco is doing its thing. So we just want to say thank you so much for the overwhelming support and love you guys have been showing us. So today's uncut conversations, we're diving deep into the lonely road to success. Remember, success ain't about, being the famous whatever, famous billionaire, famous whatever, but it's all about you attaining your goals that you've set for your life. So without further ado, let's roll into the intro. Director D.
Yes.
How can you maintain healthy relationships when you are constantly winning or succeeding without breeding envy in others?
That's a good one. I think overall, it's not easy. Maintaining relationships while succeeding, it's definitely not easy. Except mostly with the people that surround you. If not all of you are on the same energy and on the same path, it kind of gets hard. But I'll mention a few things that you can look out for when jumping on that success path without breeding envy towards the people that surround you. I think the first one, I would say practicing humility, which is one of the hardest things when everything is going great for you as a person, is we like the core to be humble, So I think the first one is practice humility, making sure that as the winnings are coming in for you, you're grounded enough to not flaunt the success in other people's faces, so that at the end of the day, you don't breed the jealousy, you don't breed the envy, but the genuine humbleness for them to realize that even in your winnings, you have not lost your true character as a person. But then often at the times, I think one of the things that matters the most is our character as people. That's why the money just shows off, or the success just shows off who we really are deep down. So if you're the lack of a better word, if you're not humble, even in your success and your accolades, that will still show as a person, because that's what you are deep down. But if you're truly humble, even when the success comes, there'll still be that consciousness in you that will talk to you when you want to lose it, and then still trying to ground you to say, hey, guy, I know we're winning. Let's just keep it humble. We've never done A, B, C, and D. Yeah. So character plays a very important role in our success. Number two, I would say empathy is one of, I think I've always mentioned even in that podcast, that empathy is one of the great attributes that we can have as a human being today, because in the society that we are lacking empathy. But practicing empathy is us putting ourselves in other people's shoes. For example, in the season that I'm winning, and the seasons that some people around me are not winning, I need to empathize with them, for me to put myself in their shoes, to say, what would I do if my friend is winning and I'm not? The greatest thing you can do when it's not your season to win is cheer other people on. Making sure that even in whatever they're doing, we are there for them, we are empathizing with them, we're cheering them on, so that they know that it's not a matter of it's not going to happen, but it's only God's time that's the best. So if it's your time to shine, let them know, like, celebrate with me, and I'm celebrating with you through your journey until you get your win. So that is also great. Empathy and genuine support. Genuine support for others is very important. Just not only supporting them for the sake, but making sure that it comes from your core as a person to genuinely want to see them win as well in whatever they do. So genuine support matters a lot, and encouraging them throughout their goals and their plans that they've laid out. So as much as you are also doing your thing and winning, making sure that you're also supporting them and cheering them on and being their best cheerleader as they're also succeeding. So the surrounding that you have, making sure that all of you genuinely share supports towards one another, that's also great. And I think being gracious overall is just being grateful for the opportunities that you have, and making sure that if you do care and share the opportunities that you got and bring other people on board or other people to your table, making sure that you're gracious enough to share those opportunities and you don't keep everything to your chest is also important. Avoiding comparison and celebrating together. I think one of the things that breeds envy is comparison. We always want to make sure that we don't do that, but one of the core things that is important is making sure that we know that my journey is my journey and the other person's journey is their journey, but not comparing the two, because comparison kills this genuine support that we have for one another. Also breeds the enviness now, because we are comparing. Say, I want what my friend has. No, I want what my friend has. I also want what this person has. But then knowing that what they got is theirs and I'm gonna get my own in due time. So canceling out that comparison. But in the end, when you take out the comparison, which in the end brings the celebrating of togetherness, meaning if my friend wins, it's also my win. And if they win, I win. So when we remove the comparison, we bring in the unity and supporting towards one another. And lastly, I would say be mindful of boundaries, setting boundaries and seeking genuine feedback. I think in our path to success, finding people that can be honest and delicate enough to give you good feedback even when you are wrong or you need help is really important. But many of the times that if you don't find genuine people that are not willing to help you, you find even when they could have given you a proper feedback, they give you a bad feedback when things were just going great, just to see you fail. So I'll close with this. It's not easy when you're succeeding for other people to relate with, but if you have the right friends, your right family, the right circle, the right group, they understand your journey, that your wins is their wins is your wins. So finding the right people to surround yourself with while you're on your journey is very important, because many of the times that the envy comes in if you don't have the right people supporting you in this season, because they feel jealousy of your accomplishments and whatnot. So finding the right people with the right character, values and principles around them is very important. Yeah, I'll close with that. Mr. 837.
Yes, sir.
What are some boundaries to set when giving gifts or money to avoid resentment later on?
Gifts and money, gifts and money, gifts and money. The easiest way to go bankrupt is dashing out money like no man's business to each and everybody. By the way, jokes aside, there are a few pointers to setting out some boundaries for giving out gifts or money, right? And the first one is setting clear expectations. You as the giver, I feel you need to be at a point where you set the tone, whether it's a gift or it's a loan, so that the other person knows if there are any payment times and all that kind of stuff. So you need to set clear expectations so that everybody is in the known, because I feel that's the first step. If the first step is misunderstood, this is where now you find wrangles between family and friends, right? Because in the first run, nothing was clear, so you have to let John know, and you have to let Mary know that, what I'm giving you is a gift. You can have it, don't worry about paying back. Or what I'm giving you is a loan. If they're coming to you and asking for whatever, tell them if it's a gift or it's a loan. Don't just be in a place where you keep it all shh and expect them to know, because by the end of the day, it's insane, and money is well known for breaking a lot of families. So set a clear expectations, and the second one is know your limits. I feel sometimes if you're the giver, right, you need to know your limits. Don't just give if you don't have, right, or promise when you don't have. There was a TikTok I was watching of a woman who was teaching her son how it is living with people who just take from you, right? Who just take from you without pouring back. So you need to understand saying, I have the capacity to give, and I can give this much, right? So that by the end of the day, you don't feel empty, you don't feel some sort of resentment towards the person that you have been giving stuff, So knowing your limits and knowing where you need to come in. If you don't have, just it is what it is. You don't have, If you have, then you can share, So there's that differentiating factor that comes in when you are the giver, So make sure that when you're given, you're not left without anything. When you're given, make sure that also yourself is at a place where you are comfortable, you're okay, you don't feel some type of way, and you're not stressing, because sometimes we stress ourselves out because we want to make other people happy. But by the end of the day, ask yourself a question: are you happy yourself? So setting a clear tone with yourself is also something that is very, very important. So know your limits. And the other one is avoid strings attached. What I mean here is sometimes we give with something attached to whatever that we're given in gifts, especially gifts, if I can put it that way. We give gifts with something attached, like in expecting in return, right? To avoid all heartbreaks, it's very important that you understand saying, what I'm giving, right, I might not expect it from the person that I'm giving. It might come the other way around, all right? So avoid attaching yourself to these things. When you give freely. Make sure that you're giving from the bottom of your heart, right? You're giving it without the knowledge of you thinking at the back of your head, like, I'm also expecting something from Jane, Joan, whoever, so that by the end of the day, you are very good with yourself, even if they don't give you back, they don't repay whatever that you did for them, So you need to be very comfortable and just like, okay, cool. It is what it is, Life goes on. So voice strings attached, and sometimes communicate openly. Communication is very important, So communicate openly with the giver. With the person that you're giving. Be at a place where you talk and make sure that everything is in place, especially if you're giving out a loan. Make sure that everything is in place, man. Like, communicate openly, because expectations and certain things might jeopardize the relationship that you have. So communicate openly and keep it private. Yeah, keep it private. Don't go about yapping about, I helped that one, I helped da 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 da. Like, it now becomes, on speaker, So make sure that everything that you're doing or everything that you're trying to portray is not coming from a place of you showing off, Yeah, I've seen some folks who, like, whenever they help, the world will know, So you need to be at a place where you are just okay with whatever happens, you know. So when you're giving, you're just giving it, you're giving stuff from the core of your heart, you know, and not the at a point where you just want to show that I helped that person, you know. So be private and, you know, respect the other person's boundaries also, you know, because not everybody's cool with that. So yeah. Director D.
Yes.
How do you navigate friendships where people only want to be associated with you for personal gain?
It's I love the fact that it's a two-parter in relating to the first question. I think everybody wants something from somebody in today's society, you know. One of the things that I feel bad about mostly in our industry today, I think in every industry there's no true friendships today, because everybody's just using somebody to get to somewhere, you know. So it's sad that today everybody, almost, not, let me not say everybody, but almost everybody's using somebody for something, you know. It's no longer about genuine friendships, but it's like, what can you do for me and what can I do for you, period. There's no more true friendship. But I think one of the ways that we can navigate through that, I think one of the things I would highlight is setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is keen, because that clearly helps us define what we are comfortable with in our friendships as we move as human beings. So making sure that you set clear boundaries with the people that you're working with, that this is what I'm comfortable with, this I'm not comfortable with. I think we can't go past this. So those boundaries set the tone and the precedence for how you move in your whatever business, friendships, everything that relating to the two of you. Secondly, I would say evaluate intentions, paying attention to their actions, whether they are genuinely care about you or seek benefits from you. I think intentions to us human beings is very important. So making sure that you're evaluating those intentions, because not everybody is there for your good. Genuinely, some, like I said, they're only there to use you, and some are only there to harm you. Yeah. The other thing I'm gonna mention is being assertive, making sure that you're not afraid to speak if you feel taken advantage of. I think having the confidence, one of the things that's important these days is differentiating between confidence and cockiness. I think many other times we misunderstand the two, between confidence and cocky. But making sure that you're confident enough to assert your position, to know like this is where I stand, and I don't appreciate being taken advantage of, because as you move in this path, you understand that there's a lot of people that would want to take advantage of you, and if you don't have the courage to speak towards what you're doing, then people are just gonna walk over you. Sad but true. The other thing I would say is seek reciprocity, encourage mutual support and reciprocity in the friendships. It's a give and take kind of thing. I think no matter how good of a person somebody is, if they're the only person giving and giving, eventually they're gonna get tired. But when you have that reciprocity where you give and then they give, you know, there's that genuine exchange of ideas, resources, and anything in between. There's always that continuity of the flow. So making sure that there's that kind of exchange is important. And I think lastly, I would say be selective, meaning be more discerning. Be more discerning about who you allow into your inner circle, meaning surround yourself with people who uplift and support and want to see you win. So making sure that you have the right people that have the right intentions for you, always want to see you, both of you win. So yeah, I would say these are the things that I would mention. Yeah. Mr. H7.
Yes, sir.
What are some signs that someone's adoration for you is turning into envy, and how do you address it?
Imagine you have this wonderful friend of yours, right? Who has been there for you for a long time. You guys have been working it together, and you've been, living life, together and chasing all these things together. The minute you start winning, you start seeing some certain traits that don't make sense to you anymore. First and foremost, they'll start giving you like backhand compliments. These are things that to them they might sound nice, but in the actual sense, there's some hidden messages in those same compliments that they give out. So instead of just being in a place where they know that, okay, cool, this person is picking up, right? They'll start throwing this set of shots at you, trying to warn you first and foremost. You might not pick that up because, come on, this is your friend, so you don't expect any malice from them. But you start if you grasp it very early, you start to realize that there's some set of short back-end compliments that just come in with some negativity attached to them, So look out for those, especially like, that's why there's that saying, say it's in the jokes. Yeah, sometimes it is, and they start excessive competition. So it's like suddenly everything turns into a war front. Yeah, like you do this, they do that. You do this, they do that. Already, that's to show that, there's healthy competition, right? There's healthy competition where your friend inspires you to be great, and like a point where they are filled with envy and jealous because they didn't expect you to get to where you are today. So now what they start doing is they try to portray certain traits with them that come with malice, greed, jealousy, and always wanting to be better than you, right? So if you do certain things that they feel intimidates them some type of way, then you see them also do the same thing, So that's not a healthy competition. Now that's a war front that you don't even know about yourself. It's like, that that's your friend, right? But to them, it's like you've become an enemy. So these are things that you need to look out for. There is healthy competition that your friend inspires you to do great, where you even upfront, like even the compliments themselves can tell. When you look at them, how they're even saying it, the tone they're using, and how they're portraying the message really, really matters. So be careful and dissect each and everything that you see. Be mindful. The world is becoming so dark, man. So be very, very mindful with each and every thing that you see from such a person. Very, very mindful. The other part is negative remarks. They'll take pleasure in your failures and they'll be happy whenever you fail. It's like that's a jackpot for them. He's seeing you fail. And I think I've seen this on social media, right? A lot of people follow you, right? Some people, not a lot, some people, right? They'll follow you just waiting for the day you're going to fail. And there might not even be people from far away. These are people from within. Just your friends. You know them. They're following you for one reason. Just for one reason. Just to see the day you're going to fumble. And trust me, to them, it's like you're feeling the insecurity that will make them feel like, that's the reason why I didn't try. You see, he failed. He or she failed, So all these small little things that they'll sneak in and be happy about your failure, that's an alert. When somebody's really happy that you failed, that should be an alert on your side that this is not a type of a person to be close to. The other part is withdraw. So whenever you share good news, right, they start distancing themselves away from you. It's like now you're becoming a threat to them. So they don't want to take the part that he or she is winning. So they don't want to be part of that because it intimidates them some type of way. Because remember, it's like to them it's a competition now. This is excessive competition on their end. So they don't want to be in that part where they celebrate with you, but they'll rather now start distancing themselves away from you. You should celebrate. You know why? Because that's the only thing it takes for you to break away from a greedy, jealous, and envious person. So you should be celebrating that they're doing that on your part without you even saying a word or you even telling them off, like, yo, you gotta, bounce, gotta bounce. But they're doing that on your behalf. So I feel to that, it must be a celebration on your part. And the other part is the copying behavior, of which I mentioned, right? So imitating each and every move that you make. It's really a very, very, very disheartening situation, because imagine this is somebody that you thought was close to you, like Jesus thought was close to Judas, So it's that type of feeling. And success comes with so many things that I feel it starts to separate you from a lot of people who were trying to fake things for you and fake staying with you. I feel some type of way it separates you from that, and it kind of helps you gravitate towards a ground that people say is lonely at the top. Yes, it's kind of lonely because now you are seeing who was really there for you. Here's the funny part, right? There are people who can be with you during your struggle phase. But don't mistake that for this. Like, it's not everybody who's going to be there with you in the struggle phase and be happy with you when you're winning. So a lot of people, some people you'll find the struggle phase, that's their happiest place because they're happy that you're struggling. The moment you start winning, it's intimidating on their part. They can't be with you, So not everybody who's there in the struggle phase will be there with you when you start winning. That's something to watch out for. So how do you address it? You can, talk to them openly and address how you're feeling about whatever traits that they're portraying towards you. So communicate, talk to them, be frank, be open. If they're truly your friend, they'll see that and see how their actions have been hurting you. If they are prone to change, they'll change. If they're not, then step aside. It's now time for you to take care of yourself. Because remember, your well-being is very important. You matter a lot. So when you're winning, don't feel, there's a point in my life when I started feeling like my wins were not meant to be celebrated, because I felt some people will feel some type of way, But I was wrong, I was wrong. You matter. Your wins matter. You gotta celebrate each and every milestone that you make. Don't feel that sometimes you remove yourself from the equation and always put people ahead. That's very dangerous, because now you're neglecting the inner child who was always, yearning for that love, to be loved by yourself. So you need to really now put yourself there and make sure that yourself is in a good place and you're taken care of. So yeah, those are my tips and tricks.
Thank you guys for staying with us to the very end of the podcast. I've been your host, Director D, with my co-host, Propane87. We just want to say sorry that for the past, I think, a week or two, we did not upload the podcast on Tuesday, due to power issues and Zesco. It's kind of been hectic, but we are slowly finding our way. That's why you see this going up Wednesday. But we just want to say we're sorry, but we're back on track. We meet every Tuesday. Let's meet in the comment section. Tell us what you think about the discussion that we had today, and follow, like, subscribe BeOfficial Podcast on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. See you Tuesday. Peace out.